it. Number 8 and number 21 are their imports. 21 played for Dillard University, born in Ohio. Dillard. Don't know, I think they're a smaller uni. And then Tori Odom played for VIU in Canada. Averaged like 18 points, 7 rebounds a game. A lot like Malik apparently. So. Good. Are you doing commentary for the video? Are you doing the commentary? It's the last weekend in March, which can only mean one thing. It is Big V Championship opening round. We've already had one blockbuster here at Storm HQ, and we are in for another cracker. It is the Bellarine Storm taking on the Camberwell Dragons. My name is Hugh Moore. I am here and joined by everyone's favourite co-host, State Champ Women's player Courtney Straight. Welcome back, Courtney. First game back on the commentary for the year, and obviously come away with a win for your first game of the year. That's obviously a massive confidence booster.
Big time.
But we turn our attention to this State Champ men's match, and I mean, there's so much to talk about in so little time, but we're just going to quickly go over this Bellarine Storm men's team.
Mm-hmm.
A plethora of changes in the off-season. Obviously, we start with, the homegrown trio of Nathan Grombeck, Seb Thomason, and Rowan Jarvie, all making the move over the bridge to the Surf Coast Chargers. So we wish them luck in their season. This season, they started, I believe, last week, so they're in round 2 this year. Kavion Green and, I believe, was it Josh Cheney last year? Nick
Yep.
Velasquez.
Yep.
That's right. I'm thinking a year too far. Have both departed the club as well. I do know KG has taken his talents down the freeway to the Hume City Broncos, but in return, we have got Malik McKinney, who I believe may have waved to KG as he was driving down the freeway. They've come in opposite directions, and it is exciting times here at the Storm, as they've also picked up Kerry Robertson, who will have his first year here in the country. And also Ben Robertson, New Zealand born from Sunbury. And if we're just going to keep going with the changes, also the young duo of Jack Terrell, Max Zalakos and Seth Garcia from Geelong United have all made the trek down the Bellarine Highway to join the team. But from what I've heard, Courtney, this team is going to be exciting this year. There is a lot of high flyers, a lot of good shooters, and just all-round excitement.
That's a good thing, honestly, to come from Bellarine Storm, is they're such a different team than last year, and there's so many new faces that it's going to take some time for defenses to hopefully adjust to that. So, I mean, giving Bellarine early looks with their new guys is hopefully going to be one of their first looks. Trying to take advantage of that.
As we see Malik McKinney do what Coach Bugenhall spoke to me about during the week. He's known for his downhill presence on the rim. And I mean, synonymous for his downhill presence is Kavion Green, which we saw last year. So McKinney already showing off his talents in the first 2 points here in the Storm colours. But also over to the Camberwell Dragons, obviously a couple of new imports in Michael Reeves II, Tori Odom. Michael Reeves II comes from the Dillard University, where he averaged 6 points and 4.2 rebounds in the past season. Mike Reeves coming from VIU as he lets one fly early. where he averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds a game. So, talking to Coach Bugenhall, they've also picked up a few players from Keysborough as well. So, a fair bit of movement in this off-season in this state champ men's program. But great to see action back on the court. Richardson, 4-3, rattles that one home. And the imports for the Storm already having effect on this game.
I'm really liking Storm's spacing in the early going. They're really getting to their spots well, looking to back cut immediately if they don't have that quick reversal, and that's leading to a lot of open avenues.
And there's that transition basketball, and Malik McKinney is turning it up at the moment as he'll head back to the line for his second and one. And Coach Sean Kinn looks quite frustrated right now. Within a minute and 15 seconds, the Storm have taken an 8-point lead early. And, I mean, it's only a minute into the season, but this is real good signs for the Storm.
Absolutely. And, I mean, early on, you have to kind of state your identity. You have to say, what's our team going to do? What are we going to focus on? Because then that continues on when you're tired. You stick to what you want to focus on. You get it done early so that, you know, when those tired legs kick in, when that tired brain kicks in, you can rely on that again. And I think last year, Bellarine had a bit of an Achilles heel with their transition game. So to see them attack it early and push it up the floor and look to finish at the rim, I'm liking it.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, talking to Coach Bugenhall during the week, he was real happy with the way this team sort of gelled over the preseason. Obviously, adding 6 new players into a team, especially a semi-professional team, can sort of throw a team off a little bit. Obviously, you guys don't have to worry about that, only the one change, but certainly can throw a bit of a rift in the team. But these guys look gelled straight away, and I think that's a credit to Coach Bugenhall. It's also great to see Liam Pretzel McAherney back out there. Big Mac, obviously injuring his knee halfway through the season last year and ultimately would miss the rest of the year. So certainly exciting times, but McKinney will make the free throw and the Storm will take a 9-0 lead as Trent Andre's pass is picked off, and another exciting figure will come up with a steal. Ben Robertson will come away. Trent Andre, his first year with the Dragons. Let it fly, 4-3, won't go. Richardson, head above the ring. That's what he's known for. Mid-range will go. Oh, my God.
Smooth.
And, I mean, the imports for the Storm right now are putting on a show. 11 points between them.
And I don't think either of them have broken a sweat yet.
No. Oh.
Ooh.
There's Kerry Richardson will pick up his first foul. Alec McQueenie will head to the line. Mulqueenie will head to the line for 2.
He met him up top. Up top looked clean to me, but I think body's where they got him.
I think there was a little push down the bottom. And I mean, obviously, Courtney, yourself coming from the States, what's it like adjusting to the officiating here compared to over in America? Is there much of a difference, or is it semi-similar?
I would say, I mean, especially for these guys who already have that overseas experience in Europe, for Kerry, or, you know, Malik's coming back from playing at Brody. He knows what's being asked of him and what they're calling. It's more of just, I don't know. It's different from America, but I will say all of these guys are so used to it by now that it doesn't take much.
Wow. Kerry Richardson is lighting it up here in his first game, 14-1, and the Bellarine Storm have the Dragons stunned as Ben Robertson comes up with another steal. He'll look to take off. Oh. A basket will not count, but Robertson will head to the line for 2. Back to that sort of officiating. So
yeah,
no real difference though. Like, obviously for a player, is there much difference in the officiating, or is it very similar?
From America, I would say yes. It's a lot more physical in America.
Yeah.
But it's It's one of those scenarios where it's going to take maybe 1 or 2 games for the guys to understand, okay, I can get my hand in for this long, or okay, I can contest the shot with this amount of physicality. For example, Bridget, she struggled 1 or 2 games, first games of the year last year with fouls. She got early foul trouble, and we had to manage that. And then throughout the season, for the most part, she said, okay, I can't contest that hard, or I got to go up more vertical on layups, stuff like that. So yes, it is different, but all these guys are perfectly capable of making that switch.
I mean, that's one of the challenges as a professional athlete, adapting to different play styles in different countries. Obviously, Kerry Robertson with a very, very full passport, I have to say, coming off a season.
Oh, why not?
In Austria as he gets to work.
Woo! I'm sorry, audience.
And I mean, Coach Bugenhall told me Kerry Robertson was going to be exciting, but I don't think he's this exciting. It's 16-1, and no one else on the team other than the 2 imports have scored.
Make that 18, actually.
18, sorry. So, Alec McQueenie, sorry. Thomas James looking to get the score off, no luck. Max Cos for the signature 3, no luck. Camberwell looking to get the fast break. The pass will be too long for Lazius. And we'll have our first substitution of the game. We'll see Lazius and McQueenie check out. And number 34, Lachlan Viney, and number 14, Sean Clark check in. A lot of promise about Lachlan Viney. Talking to Coach Bugenhall, said that off a stint, over in the States playing college. So first season back, Richardson getting to the basket. Andre did a good job to stop it. Lob up. And Courtney, I hate to say it, but I have a feeling there is going to be a lot of that this year. So as the Storm are all over the Dragons right now. And I mean, we're talking so much about the offense as Viney gets a score on the board for the Dragons. We've spoken so much about the offense early, but the defense. I mean, the Storm for the first 4.5 minutes have kept the Dragons to just 3. So not just an offensive threatening team, a defensive threatening team too. McKinney will just go a touch too hard under the ring. We'll draw the offensive foul. That'll be his first.
And you have to give credit to Viney. He comes in, is patient, reads the screen, gets a lay-in, and then immediately turns around and brings a turnover for his team. So credit to him for trying to bring a spark here for Camberwell.
So instant impact for Viney. Andre pushed up to the top, back to Viney, back to Andre. Cunning, nice little bounce pass in. Bounce was too hot for Thomas James. Robertson kicks out to McKinney. Thought about the 3, step back. Rattles that one home. It'll be a long 2.
I'm really loving how fast the ball is zipping around the court for Bellarine early.
That's a whole different Bellarine Storm team we saw from last year. As the 3 is up from number 13, Ben Crow. And that pressure just lifted a little bit off Camberwell. We'll see a set here from the Storm. Viney guarding McKinney. He'll step back, quarter court line. No luck. Shot is off. Max Cos come in late and come up with the steal. So ball will stay with the Storm. Substitutions for the Storm. We'll see Louis Varley and Jack Tyrrell check in. And Max Cos and Liam McInerney check out. We'll also see number 16 for the Dragons, Angus Howie check in. And Thomas James check out, as well as Trent Andre out and Matthew Hart in. Richardson couldn't get the midi to fall. And so frustrations starting to set in early here for the Dragons. Tyrrell getting his first minutes in Storm colours. Spent a fair bit of time overseas recently, Jack Terrell, playing a bit of 3-on-3 basketball. Dragons come the other way. Crow for 3, no luck. Storm will fight for the rebound. It will go in favour of the Dragons. I mean, both these teams, rough season last year. Obviously, the Storm, hampered by injuries, fell down the ladder very quickly. Started off very hot, were the team to beat at the start of the year. Finished an even split, 11-11. The jump shot is no good. There'll be a foul on the rebound for number 14, Sean Clark. They finished 7th, while Camberwell finished second last, 5-17. I mean, the Storm, last time these guys faced, Storm won by 8 points the first time and then 8 points the second time. So certainly Camberwell definitely applying the pressure, but just struggling to find their form last year. So definitely be looking to improve this year.
And the thing Storm can take from, despite not having a lot of those same guys back this season from last season, is they proved last year that they were, second place at one time? And then, injuries happen and things fall apart in that regard. It happens. But they've still got players here that have that same mentality. They know what it takes to get there. They have veterans that have returned. So that mentality and that mindset of knowing where they need to be when they do things right hasn't changed.
And I mean, you look at this team, there is NBL 1 caliber players, there's high-level college players, so this team certainly has plenty of experience. And that experience playing finals. So plenty of time as Richardson slips, but still manages to get the shot off. So Viney looking to push the floor quickly, gets hacked. Attacking the rim by Robertson. He'll head to the line for 2.
Definitely something to note if you're Camberwell is something Storm struggled with at times last year was that transition defense, so that quick pickup of the ball early. So hopefully they can nip that in the bud early. Otherwise, Camberwell may look to capitalize a little bit more.
We'll see a substitution for the Storm. We'll see Ben Robertson check out and Seth Garcia check in for his first minutes in this Bellarine Storm state champ men's team. Seth Garcia, no stranger to the big lights. Spent last year with Geelong United in the NBL 1. As there'll be a foul on the rebounding contest. It will look like it'll go to Jack Tyrrell. That'll be his first. So both teams in bonus now.
Especially with a player like Howie, who's so strong and physical, it's going to be one of those contests, especially when we've got a mismatch on the rebounds. You just have to worry about getting him out. You don't have to worry about the rebound. Get your body on him, push him out of the way, hold him off so he can't get an O board, and let your teammates fill in and do the rest.
Correct. And I mean, right now, without McInerney on the court, Bellarine are running semi-smaller. Obviously, Tyrrell and Robertson sharing that sort of 4-5 position, but especially this is a perfect time for Angus Howie to just really capitalise and assert his dominance on this game. So McKinney dances on his defender, gets to the basket. Malik McKinney up to 10 points for the game. Still 2 minutes to go in the first, and that will be a travel. So
great job by Louis to jump out on that screen, on that switch.
2 minutes to go. Foul here on the play. Foul will be on number 34, Lockie Viney. That'll be his first. It'll be 2 shots for Seth Garcia.
Let's see if Seth can get his first 2 points in the Storm uniform.
As we said, Garcia making his way over from Geelong United NBL 1 last year.
I jinxed it.
The first. You jinxed it.
I jinxed it.
And previously spent a few years over in the States playing college basketball.
There we are.
That's his first point here for the Storm. Viney looking to push the floor straight away. We'll kick it back out to Ben Crow. No luck. Number 4, Matthew Hart. Couldn't get it to go. And so they'll kick it ahead. I mean, that was a very awkward lob for Kerry Richardson, but he caught it somehow.
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
Didn't matter. Just throw it up there.
If you're a Storm fan or if you're a Dunks fan, I tune into more games because we're going to see a lot more of that by the looks of it. I got very excited when I watched his highlight reel, Courtney. It was just all that. Just lobs and mid-range jump shots.
Which is great to see from one of your bigs, that they're not one-dimensional. Like, he has shown so early on that what you're going to give to him, he's going to take it.
And I mean, how important nowadays, as there's a late whistle on the play, foul will be on number 7, pardon me, Lewis Varley. We'll send.
He's calling for the VAR. He does not agree.
Well, surprisingly, the NBL 1 this year have brought in instant replay. So the referees have I believe they have the option to head to the replay. So hopefully that'll slowly filter down into Big V.
One could hope.
But as we were talking about before the foul, Hart makes his first and will make the second. How important is it nowadays for an athlete, whether you're a big or a forward, to be able to do all right what a guard can do?
It's just, the game has evolved so much that if you're one-dimensional and you just plant yourself in the lane, you're going to be easy to guard, and your defender is going to make a living just staying in the paint. So the fact that you can bring yourself out of the zone, or the lane, excuse me, stretch that defense, regardless of if you're going to shoot or not, stretching the defense out, pulling bigs out of the lane, especially when offenses are so adamant on, paint touches, it changes your offense.
And I mean, so many bigs nowadays, so we can't really call them bigs, nowadays are able to dribble the ball. Like, I mean, you look at Redstadt, who's a much taller player, can sort of play in that post, but can shoot the free ball incredibly well. So not many sort of your traditional big mans are in the game anymore, especially you look at the sort of NBA, you've got no sort of post catch on the block, go to work underneath the ring. It's sort of, you've got to be able to play inside and outside. Yeah. So the game is certainly evolving.
And the centers that you do see that are back to the basket, they're also, I mean, almost every offense, you see them popping up to the elbow, looking for those backdoor passes, sprinting up for ball screens. So it's not that slow motion, one-dimensional game anymore. You have to be dynamic, you have to be able to move, you have to read the game from inside the paint and outside.
So substitution on that last play. We saw Kerry Richardson check out, Max Zalakos check in. Garcia, 4-3, will get it to go. And it'll take him to 4 points for the quarter. 2 possessions left in this quarter. 32-16 in favour of the Storm. There'll be a foul on the play. It'll be on number 3. Seth Garcia, his first. And it'll send Viney to the line for 2. Viney been good. His stint this first quarter, 3 points. 1 rebound. Having an instant impact off the bench makes it first.
I've been impressed so far. He's got a motor. He's smart with the ball. He's made plays on defense.
Can't get the second to go, but Zalakos will come up with the rebound. And McKinney will look to dribble out the plate. 10 seconds left on the game clock in this first quarter. McKinney will find the gap, kick out to Zalakos, 4-3. Rattles that one home, and that will definitely hurt the Camberwell Dragons as the Storm come into the quarter time break, 35-17, after what was a very entertaining first quarter.
Big time.
On the back of the 1-2 punch of Kerry Richardson and Malik McKinney. Kerry Richardson, 16 points, 2 rebounds in 8 minutes in that first quarter. Malik McKinney.
Something light.
Something light. Malik McKinney, 10 points, 2 assists, 1 steal. So only early. I mean, I spoke with Ella in the last game. Especially in this state champ division, games can change so quickly. We obviously saw you guys 14, 16-point lead, and then the game got down to as much as, I think it was a 4-point margin. So all it takes is a couple of possessions and a shift of momentum, and a game can be on its head. But right now, the Storm have their fingerprints all over this game.
I really love early the dynamic we've got between our posts and our bigs. So, for example, you've got Malik McKinney. He's electric on the ball, right? You overpressure him, he's going to get past you. And we've got defenders helping off bigs, helping off Max Zalikos, helping off Kerry to stop the drive. And what do? Kick out and hit threes. So love to see the trust your point guard has early with those bench players and with our imports coming in that, haven't had a lot of time together yet. So really good building blocks early for Storm.
And I mean, for the Dragons, there's signs.
Yes.
They're not out and done. Obviously, we keep mentioning Lachlan Viney, obviously 4 points for him so far in this game. But just he's really trying to push that pressure, try and get the Storm in trouble in that transition like we spoke about. So obviously Sean King, a veteran in the coaching game, will certainly have plenty of ideas how to sort this out. But right now, as we said, Storm leading 35-17 in this Big V State Champ Men's season opener. Fairly decent crowd for a Saturday night. You see Air Show is on at the moment as well over the bay. So as the action will look to resume, Camberwell will start the quarter with the ball in the hands of Viney. As they'll go into Crow, leading scorer for the Dragons right now, and a quick foul on the possession. Foul will be on number 31, Max Cos. His first. There's a bit of confusion on the floor about what the foul was actually called for. Hart will head to the line. Crow will head to the line for 2. 7 points for him so far in tonight's match. Second free throw won't go, but Howie's there. And he asserts his dominance with an offensive rebound, and then a putback dunk. Garcia, mid-range pull-up. And Howie is there again as he gets the block. And then
They call it a jump ball?
They did call a jump ball, I believe.
Okay.
They couldn't work out who the ball was off out of court. I believe Seth Garcia was out of court. Got the ball thrown at him, but Viney was also out of court. So Zalikos step through, nice and high off the glass. Can't go.
I think with, Howie's athleticism and his height, it's going to be one of those scenarios where if you're big for Bellarine, you're going to have to finish around him because he's so tall and athletic, and he does a pretty good job elevating or just staying vertical, I should say. You're going to have to get him to move his feet and finish around him at the rim.
100%. Foul on the play just gone was on Zalikos. So he'll sub out with his second foul. And we'll see Liam McInerney check back in. A bit of a better matchup for Howie. As the 3 will be good for Lachlan Viney, but we'll have a blood rule on the court for James Howie. I was going to make a joke then, but I won't. I'll keep myself. We have a real history with blood here at the Bellarine Storm. Don't know if you can cast your mind back to Cheyenne Mabubi from McKinnon.
Yeah, poor guy.
3 plays in a row.
Yeah, was going through it.
Blood coming out of every hole in his face, I reckon, at one stage. Back to the action. McInerney sets a flattening screen, which leaves Cos wide open. Can't convert. Terrell will fight for the rebound. But Viney in there again. Starting to really have an impact in this game. Gets the steal. Crosses himself up. Reeves will roll the basket. No luck. Viney spinning to the middle. Basket won't count. It'll be a travel. Philly might have been a bit hard done by there.
I have no words for that one.
He does move very quick with his feet. So
very quickly.
They'll just
It was a pretty nice move, I'm not going to lie to you.
stoppage on the play will require the services of the floor sweepers. Obviously, the Bellarine Storm with both teams with a double header. What's it like having a double header opening round of the season? Are you excited for it, or is it a bit of a like, oh, we got to play 2 games first round?
Honestly, just getting to play again is fun. You know, if we were having, to drive to Pakenham and then Warrnambool, I might give you, a different answer to that. But to start off the season with 2 home games, 2 teams that were finals contenders last year and have a lot to prove again this season. I mean, you can choose to look at it one of 2 ways. You can say, well, scheduling screwed us. We have to play 2 tough games back to back to start the season. Or you can say, all right, we've done the work. We know what we're getting ourselves into. We've prepped for this. Let's take the challenge head on.
And I mean, obviously, from a player aspect, how does the body handle a double header? Like, obviously, you haven't played much since last year. Obviously, a few practice matches as Richardson buries another 3 up to 19 points. How does the body handle a double header? Obviously, is there anything you sort of do on a double header weekend to look after your body, to prep yourself so you're good for that second game?
I will say I am thankful that Bridget has the Normatec boots, so definitely take advantage of those. In addition, I live with, Bridget and I both live with Jenny Crombie, who has a nice saltwater pool. So a little cold dip never hurt anybody, but also just, keep putting it on myself to make sure I'm hydrated. I'm eating the right foods. Good take. I'm fueling up how I should. So then I know that regardless of how I'm feeling, at least at the end of the day, say, I did what I was supposed to do, and then you let the chips fall. And once the ball is up in the air, you just have to throw all that tiredness aside, and you just have to get things done.
So Storm with the possession. Richardson stepping through the middle, and Richardson can do no wrong right now for the Storm. Up to 21 points, 9 from 10 from the field.
And I think sweat count is still at 0.
I believe sweat count is still at 0.
The man has not sweated.
Actually doesn't look like he's got out of warm-ups yet.
No. He plays at his own speed. I love that.
So Varley. Pass just a bit too soft. And so Hart will come the other way. And he'll get the M1. Foul will be on number 24, Liam McInerney. That'll be his first for the game.
And I will say, Bellarine scored 35 points in the first quarter. So far in the second quarter, they've only scored 5. Am I right in that?
You are right. Might I remind you that Camberwell are currently winning the quarter.
Right.
So that's a good sign for Coach King and his troops as Hart finishes the M1. So certainly...
There's still a breath of life. Don't throw the dirt on the coffin yet.
I mean, that's the thing with state champ basketball and senior basketball at this level. No lead's too big. Obviously, you can work hard, you can grind away. All it takes is a couple of runs. We spoke about in the women's game that the team that gets on a run is ultimately the team that has control of the game. And right now, it just feels like Camberwell are just starting to find their groove, starting to get those runs. But again, all could change within the matter of a shot as Robertson comes up with an offensive rebound. As McKinney will be blocked by Reeves. Wide open court for the Dragons. 3 is up. No good. As Odom nearly didn't come away with the ball. Frustrations just starting to settle in for the crowd here. Hart over the top of the big man McInerney, and that'll lead Coach Bugenhall to call a timeout. And so Dragons just slowly, ever so slightly, just chipping away at this lead. It was out by as much as 17 points, 18 points at quarter time, now back down to 11. So, I mean, if you're Coach Bugenhall right now, what's the message to the group? Obviously, 5 points for the quarter after what was a very high-scoring first quarter in 35. What changes do you make?
I think the ball is sticking a little too much offensively. The first few minutes when the ball was flying around the court, we were getting paint touches, we were looking for driving kicks, we were hitting those backdoors. Everything was happening at a much quicker pace. So that's number one. What would I say number two? I think, yeah, in addition to not moving the ball enough, we're relying on those high ball screens when in reality, I think we are better if we're just attacking off the catch and trying to get paint touches. So maybe not holding the ball as much and just waiting for those ball screens and getting it to somebody like McKinney or Carey or even Ben, who can get past their guy and don't need a ball screen. And then we can work to get those cutters and those shooters open off the kick out.
And I mean, it feels right now like Camberwell almost playing to the Bellarine Storm's play style.
Yeah.
They're moving the ball around, they're kicking it around, they're finding cutters. And as I've just heard Malik McKinney plead to the Camberwell defenders to leave him alone as he's being double teamed. Seems quite frustrated as he runs down the court shaking his head. But it just feels like they're just slowly starting to take control of the game and almost play Bellarine at their own game.
Yeah. And if you are Bellarine Storm, you've got to negate that. Get back to what's working. So maybe not do so many plays that you have to hold the ball up high. Something where it's a quick trigger or a skip or something that reverses the ball first.
As we have a foul there on Liam McInerney. That'll be his second personal, I believe. So the Dragons will have another chance here to cut the deficit. Pass from Reeves was a bit wild there. Ball will go back to the Storm. So 5 minutes gone in this second quarter. Storm with 14 fouls. So in the bonus now, Richardson, 21 points in the half. McInerney attacks downhill. Can't finish. And Andre will come up with it. Kick ahead pass. Lazius gets picked. Nice little pass from Malik McKinney as he pulls out the goggles, and the veteran Liam McInerney will finish, giving McKinney the assist.
Just goes to show if you're big, you run the floor, you will be rewarded.
We have foot violation on the play. Also have a substitution. We'll see Louis Varley check in for the Storm. And we'll see Liam McInerney check out. James Howie also checking back in. Angus Howie, pardon me. For the Dragons after having a bit of blood somewhere. One-on-one here for Cos. Decides to reassess up to Robertson. Deep three for Robertson. Deep three. Almost a step off the quarter court line, and
we'll call that Caitlin Clark range.
We'll call that Caitlin Clark range. So Ben Robertson, 5 of his own. Andre answers back with 1 of his own.
Really nice move.
Very nice move. Ball trickles out of court.
I've noticed a few times for Storm, they've had a baseline driver, and there's nobody flashing to the basket on that weak side. I think, especially with how much our three-point ball has been successful so far today, and they're going to be out further because they want to try to stop those kickouts for threes, I would love to see some cuts to the basket on the weak side.
There's Malik McKinney, Lachlan Viney go at it. Viney will pick up the foul. That'll be his second. We'll have a substitution here for the Dragons. It'll be number 34, Lachlan Viney checking out. Number 13, Ben Crow checking in. Richardson getting to the basket. Floater is up. There'll be a foul on the play. It'll be on number 2. Now Lassus. That'll be his first personal for the game. Richardson will look to extend his account tonight out to 23. Scoring 19 of those in the first quarter. Makes the first. And the second. Storm back out to a 15-point lead. So 3.5 minutes to go. They hand it off. Andre got the gap on his defense. A nice pass.
Really nice pass.
As McQueenie can't convert, but Howie's there to clean up the scraps. And he'll get 2 more points to his account. McKinney will just slow it up. Nice little dribble move. Oh, what a finish from Malik McKinney, showing off his talent. I believe he's going to become a bit of a fan favourite around here, I reckon.
Can we nominate that for some sort of play of the weekend? Did they do that for Big V?
They do that for Big V, as Andre answers back with 3 of his own. So it's a bit of back and forth here right now. Ben Robertson tries to get the pro hot, no luck. So we'll stay with the Storm. "17 seconds on the shot clock, still plenty of time in this possession. Farley to inbound. Richardson will pop out. Guarded by Howie. Howie does a good job on defense to slow Richardson down. McKinney creates so much space. No luck. Offensive rebound to Richardson. 2 more points for Kerry Richardson. And from what I've heard, Kerry Richardson came in late to where he was playing. Played the second half of the season last year. I believe it was in Austria.
Yes.
So came in and I believe he was hooping out over there too. So definitely a great pickup for the Storm as Robertson gets to the ring, gets the basket to go, and we'll head to line for 1 more. Foul will be on number 12.
And we see an immediate change in the energy on the team, and it's reflecting on the scoreboard because they're moving the ball up and they're trying to, strike first in transition, and the ball is moving so much better, and they're scoring more.
Alec McQueenie checking out for the Dragons. Also see Max Cos check out for the Storm. So 2 minutes to go in this first half. Robertson's free throw won't go. Lead out to 16 points. As there'll be an offensive foul on the play. Foul will be on number 31, James Howie. Angus Howie. I'm going to call him James Howie all night. That'll be his first personal. I don't know where I get James from.
I could see it.
They'll go inside to Richardson. He'll square up. as Kerry Richardson just put Angus Howie in a washing machine and just said, "You got blood on your shirt? I'm going to wash it for you." As everyone is cracking up laughing.
Oh,
Even
no.
Sean King is laughing. And I think it went even worse because there was a sweat spot on the floor and Howie slipped on it.
So I'm sorry, Malik. I redact
Kerry
the
Richardson
submission
now has
for play of the weekend. I'm so sorry, Malik.
poor Angus Howie has just been put in a washing machine. And I mean, there is laughter and oohs and ahs across the stadium. But I mean, people still can't believe what we just saw. Anyways, back to the action.
We're back.
Lazius looking to go to work against Robertson. Fading. Can't go. Garcia with the rebound. He'll look to push the floor. Nice little shovel pass to Robertson, who gets blocked by Howie. Ben Robertson reminds me a lot of Nathan Grombeck.
Yeah, I can see it.
Very sort of downhill. Obviously, Ben Robertson with a little bit of a better three-point shot.
And he's got a bit more size.
Nathan Grombeck's going to hate me saying that.
That's
because
okay.
last time I said that.
He lit it up.
In a grand final.
Ah. Well, maybe it's a good thing then.
Maybe it is a good thing. Garcia pops the corner. Thought about the three. Instead kicks it back to Robertson. Another deep three. No luck. Ben Robertson obviously played for the Sunbury Jets last year. Instrumental off the bench in their team. Andre couldn't get the roll. So he'll head to line for two. Foul will be on number 95, Kerry Richardson. His second.
Especially with a minute left, one thing you'd love to see if you're on the Storm bench is no trading buckets to finish. So trying to go for that 2-for-1 if you can. But also not letting up even in that last minute. Create as much momentum as you can going into the locker room.
And I mean, it's the same for the Dragons as well. You want
you
want that little bit of confidence. Make a 3 or 2 before the halftime break. Garcia lets it fly. Varley. Ball's tipped around like volleyball.
Good extra effort there.
Great extra effort from the Storm. Foul will be on.
That extra. Go ahead.
No, foul will be on number 13.
I was going to say the extra effort from Louis and Carey, both to tap that ball and maintain possession for Storm, leads to 2 free throws.
And I mean, you look down the bench of this team, and obviously only 4 mainstays from last year in Lewis Varley, Max Cos, Liam McInerney, and Clancy Whelan.
Right.
Can't forget Clancy. So, as a player that sort of sticks around in such a new team, how much of the pressure is on you to sort of not assist the new players, but sort of show them the way and sort of how Storm runs?
I think more so than really being an ambassador, I guess, is just being a good teammate. Because these guys have played at a high level. They usually can adapt and gel pretty well. Being a good teammate and making somebody feel welcome and making them feel confident can be just as important to make sure someone that feels at home in a new place, right? The coaches know what they're doing. They've been here for a while. We've got those returners that some of them have not been super big minutes guys. Regardless of that, being good teammates and making sure everybody gels as a team is just as important as you challenging the new players to make sure that they're up to speed on their plays and stuff. So it goes both ways, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Liam McInerney only been here since last year, but Lewis Varley been in the program for a few years, so would certainly have a clear grasp on sort of how they want things to play here.
Right, yeah.
So as we see, Trent Andre at the line for 3 free throws. We'll go 2 from 3 after foul from Ben Robertson. We'll have 2 possessions left in this first half. Garcia with it at the top. To Richardson. Looking at the clock, he'll think about taking on Howie. step back, creates space. Shot off the back iron. And the Dragons will look to take the last shot of the quarter. Hart will kick it to Andre. Andre will look to go to work. Pull up three is up. No good. Varley will look at the clock. Baseball pitch. And no luck. And as we round out the first half of action here at Storm HQ, it'll be the Bellarine Storm leading 55-41. Kerry Richardson currently leading the game in scoring 27 points, 11 from 12 from the field, 3 from 3 from the three-point line to go. Along with that, he's got 4 rebounds, followed by his import counterpart in Malik McKinney, 12 points, 5 assists, And for the Dragons, it'll be Trent Andre with 10 points, 2 steals, and Ben Crow, 9 points and 2 steals as well. So as we head to a quick halftime break, reminder, it's opening round here in Big V State Championship. It's a Storm beating the Camberwell Dragons 55-41. We'll be back in just under 7 minutes to start the second half. Good evening and welcome back to this State Champ Men's opening round matchup between the Bellarine Storm and the Camberwell Dragons. And I mean, to say this game has been entertaining would be an understatement. I mean, we've got Kerry Richardson at the half with 27 points, while also putting players into spin cycles and possibly performing highlight of the week, if not highlight of the year. But Malik McKinney showing off his dribbling power. And for the Dragons, it's Jack. Oh, I've done it again. Lachlan Viney having some fun out there with his speed. Hugh Moore here with Courtney Strait. I mean, Courtney, we had a very entertaining first half. What's in store for the second half, do you feel?
So if I'm Coach Buggs in that half, I emphasize what's working, because despite him making substitutions the first quarter, they really saw success with their pace and just their style of play. The few moments where they faltered a little bit is when the ball stuck and they strayed away from their identity a little bit. And defensively is the same. Regardless of whether you get 2 buckets in a row, 1 bucket, whatever, trading baskets with the team only gives them confidence, and it's kind of shown on the scoreboard a little bit. They made the game a little bit closer. So really emphasize what was working the first few minutes of the game with them really clogging the lane, putting pressure when they're going to turn the corner on the ball screen, and really making all of their shots contested, hand-in-the-face shots. So,
and I mean, no one really knew how this new-looking Storm team was going to play. I don't even think Coach Bugenhall sort of had any idea on what was going on. But so far, with pretty much 70% of the team being new here, I mean, so far it's exciting times. And for the Dragons, maybe it's just that pre-season blowing off the cobwebs. Obviously, first game of the season can bring jitters, and you sort of got to iron out a few creases.
Absolutely.
But knowing Sean King and his expertise and his experience in coaching, I'm sure he has got a plan all set out for this. But as we return to the action for the Storm, it'll be McKinney, Cos, McInerney, Varley and Richardson starting the half. And for the Dragons, it'll be Viney, Reeves, Odom, Andre and McQueenie.
Not to mention, too, if you're Camberwell, you just had a player for Storm go off unconscious for 27 points and a half, and you've held more or less the rest of the team, except for Malik, to not super productive halves. So if you eliminate that factor or do your best to slow him down somewhat, you have yourself in a good position to make a run.
And I mean, Sean King, I don't know if he would have noticed or if it's something that come up, Camberwell actually won the second quarter.
Right.
So 24-20. So even though the scoreboard doesn't reflect how the game's going, there's those little wins you've got to point out as a player and as a coach that might just trigger something in you that you just go, all right, we're still in this. So certainly plenty of time as McKinney. Step back won't go. Local junior Storm players loving the action at the moment. Odom heads to the basket, no luck. Cos will pull up for a transition 3, no luck. Offensive rebound for Richardson, and the Storm will bring it out, reset it. And it just feels the offense for the Storm has changed a little bit this year. They're looking to move the ball a lot more as McInerney gets the basket. Nice little jump stop, finish, assist will go to Louis Varley.
Fundamental from the veteran, per usual.
Liam McInerney, obviously second year in the Storm colours. Previously did that. He was a Stormmate at the at Geelong United, been there for years. And so his experience is definitely well appreciated by Bugenhall and the team. Varley, kick out to McKinney. Thought about the long 2. Passes in deflected by Reeves. Viney will just take the nice, easy finger roll layup. And just small signs here from the Dragons. Early in this first quarter, McKinney switches hands as he gets to the basket and finishes at the rim. And he just gives me that little bit of KG vibe.
Yeah.
A little bit smaller than KG, but can just finishes around the rim, loves to attack the rim.
Is really dynamic at the rim. Every single one of his finishes has been different. And he really hangs in the air, is what I was going to say.
Plenty of air time. The shot will go up and will go down for Alec McQueenie. So margin back down to 12. Camberwell starting to get into their actions now. The ball got stuck in between McKinney's legs, so he had to pick up the dribble. Gets to the basket, finishes under contact. Just gives a slight flex to the bench.
I think we have another character on our hands this year.
Oh, we love characters. We love characters here at Storm. Again, McQueenie rolling to the ring. Great defense there by McInerney and Richardson. Just to wall up, not trying to commit the foul. Varley looked to getting it going early. Nice baseball pass. Hail Mary pass down the court, but McInerney got a bit too far under.
Good idea, too.
Great idea. Caught the defense sleeping. So McQueenie just pleading his case with the ref. So reminder, Bellarine Storm back here tomorrow for another doubleheader. Triple header, pardon me. Youth League women will lead the way at 11 o'clock, followed by state champ women at 1 and the state champ men at 3. For the Dragons. They'll have the day off tomorrow. And so Odom will kick it to McQueenie. Viney for 3. He has been instrumental off the bench. Came in very quickly off the bench and hasn't taken his foot off the pedal.
It's early.
It's early. Dusting off the cobwebs. Richardson. Crossover. Step back. Is good.
Picking up where he left off last half.
Only round 1, but Kerry Richardson may be a player to watch out for this season. Nice backdoor cut from Tori Odom as he gets to finish. Tori Odom in quite a bit of pain. Play still going on. There will be a foul in the play. The foul will be on number 3.
He's tightening his shoe.
Trent Andre.
Which makes me think he stepped on someone's foot. Might be an ankle issue. Or shin.
Just waiting to... He is up and about and is walking, but to the extent of that injury is yet to be known. As you mentioned, Courtney was tightening up that shoe, so potentially could have just... Such a common injury on a basketball court, standing on someone's foot. So we hope Tori Odom is all okay. We'll keep you posted on whether he will check back into the game or not. But he'll sub out and we'll see Matthew Hart check back in, pardon me. It'll be Ben Crow trekking back in. And so play will resume. Varley. 3 is way too long. The kick ahead pass from Viney to Reeves. As he gets to the basket. And he'll get his first field goal for the game. Tyrrell at the high post. Indecisive with his passing. McKinney has a runway to the ring. Foul on the play will be on number 34.
One thing I like about Malik's game and just his basketball IQ is he really does use ball screens well. So if you give him that option and let him turn the corner or switch out on him, he's going to be able to attack that big. So that's phase one. Phase two, if you ice the screen and don't let him use it, he just blows past you.
And I mean, for someone like that, like what do you do as an opposition player? Obviously so much, like if you go over the screen, he's going to beat you to the ring. If you go under the screen, he's going to shoot on you. How do you guard someone like that?
I suppose the best plan of attack right now is he hasn't hurt Camberwell from behind the arc nearly as much as he has at the rim. So whether that means you get under the screen and meet him on the other side and prove that he's going to continually make shots from behind the screen, I don't know what else you can do. You got to take at least one facet away from his game. Try to take the one that he's doing the most.
And I mean, Malik McKinney 0 from 3 from the three-point line tonight. So maybe that is the play. Maybe see if he can force him to shoot that three, force him to play into that style of his game. As Robertson brings it down. McKinney again at the rim. Will get fouled above the ring. Foul will be on number 31, Angus Howie. Pardon me. His second. We'll send McKinney back to the line for two more. Malik McKinney last season with the Hume City Broncos. It was very exciting. I know many people were quite excited when they found out Malik McKinney was making his way to Storm HQ. And so far, the hype and the excitement has lived up.
Why didn't we get sound effects for our game?
I don't know. Oh, we might have to talk to the higher ups about that. We might need a little soundboard. I mean, that's something you could organise. As Andre can't get to the ring, that's something you could organise as our new social media manager. Is that the way to describe it?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, as Andre passes to Howie, and Howie loses control of the ball.
Good hands there by Seth Garcia. Especially when Howie's coming in with a head full of steam, you're not going to mean about the rim. Pop it out of his hands while he's gathering it.
And
Best
I
thing
mean,
you can do.
Seth Garcia is
just a slight height disadvantage.
Oh, just a slight. I reckon James Howie's almost twice as tall as Seth Garcia. So certainly scary as the big man comes in. But Jack Terrell makes light work of Howie.
Really good body positioning there. Really good.
Right, ball high up off the glass and finished. So Howie at the top will find Viney. Been impressive in his first game here. As Howie can't control the ball. Garcia will look to push the floor. Viney pestering him from behind. Terrell ends up with it. Robertson will slow it down. Much quicker than the big. And he'll get to the ring and finish. And right now, Angus Howie is in a world of hurt. That'll be his third personal for the game. And that'll lead to Coach King taking him out of the game.
I love that decision by Ben, too. He saw the switch. He saw a bigger guy had to be pulled out on that switch. Back dribble, get your momentum going, blow by, meet him at the rim.
I mean, such an asset of Ben Robertson's game is just to play downhill. Same as Malik McKinney, get to the ring, finish under pressure. So I don't know who he just pointed to someone in the crowd there. So Action back the other way. Lazius will kick it up to James, to Viney. Deep three. There'll be a foul on the plate, on the shot, I believe. Foul will be on number 3, Seth Garcia. That'll be his second. And we'll see a little bit of a crowd favourite here at the Storm HQ. Clancy Whelan.
100%.
Check him for his first time tonight. And I vaguely remember last time I watched Clancy Whelan play, in the 3 minutes he was on the court, it may or may not have been the most entertaining basketball ever.
Yes.
I think he hit 2 threes and got maybe a layup, and everyone was losing their mind. So Malik McKinney will take a well-deserved break. Viney goes 2 from 2.
1 for 2. He missed that first one. I got your back.
Thanks. 2 from 3.
There it is.
So Garcia, cheeky little smile there, thought he carried it.
Very physical half.
Very physical half. And it just feels like the referees are sort of letting it play out at the moment.
Yeah.
A fair few whistles in the first half, and now it's sort of, they've relaxed off it a little bit. So Garcia kicks to Terrell in the corner. 3 will be long. Whelan with the rebound. We'll kick it out to Robertson. Whelan, 4-3.
Hit it, Clance.
Oh.
Yes!
As Clancy Whelan opens his scoring account for 2025 with a 3. What did I say? 3 entertaining minutes of basketball. Viney fumbled it, but ends up with it. Lazius looks inside to the cutting. No luck. Garcia worked hard for the ball.
Good reverse
Richardson
pivot. Really nice basketball.
showing off that elite mid-range game.
What I'm loving right now from the subs for Bellarine too is the level of play has not dropped. The ball is continuing to move. They're really getting scrappy defensively, and they're making things happen.
And I think that's the exciting thing about both state champ women's team, both state champs teams this year. The benches are so deep.
So
like
deep.
you sort of look. I think I was talking to Jamie Crombie, and like you can look down the bench and go, everyone played an even amount of minutes. So, like, how important is that as a team to have, not just have your key sort of 4 or 5 players that are your starting 5. Like you look through this sort of starting 5, you go down. The highest amount of minutes is 26, and then that's Kerry Richardson.
Yeah.
Malik McKinney's played 24, and then everyone else has played sort of between 10 and 17 minutes. How, as a coach and a player, how good is that to sort of have that you can sort of know that the level of gameplay is not going to drop off when a new sub comes onto the court?
It's huge, especially when you're looking at like tough doubleheader weekends or, you know, crunch time. If somebody's in foul trouble and like the game's on the line, knowing that you can turn to any number of players on your bench to step in and be like, nope, I know the plays, I know the level I need to be at, and I know what's expected of me and my role is huge.
And I mean, like, Clancy Whelan, obviously last player off the bench, but I mean, has come in and made a 3. So, I mean, player depth in teams is so important. But out of the timeout, action will resume. Camberwell with the ball. 3 is up, no good. Lazius comes up with the rebound, sets himself, and will get the 2 points to drop. That'll be his first points for the game. Robertson given too much space.
Way too much.
No.
Way too much. And Max Alikos was running around saying, who do I screen? Because his defender was so deep.
he just lets the defense know. Viney does a great job to get his defender in the air.
He knew he did it too. You could see Seth trying to draw back at the last second and couldn't.
Smart play from Lachlan Viney there to get his defender in the air and draw the contact. Foul will be on number 3. Seth Garcia, that'll be his 3rd personal. Viney back at the line for 2. Makes the first.
You have to be nothing but pleased with his output so far.
100%. Especially, obviously, one of the younger players on the team. Obviously, and not playing basketball in Australia for a little bit, I believe, coming back from the States. I mean, first game out, you'd be very happy and you'd be excited to see what his season holds. Zalacosta's pass is him, and as a bit of a interesting call there, Viney and Garcia both had a crack at the ball, and Garcia will end up with the unsportsmanlike foul.
That was an intense collision, to say the least.
So Viney will head to the line for 2 free throws, and Camberwell will come back with the ball.
Despite the score being slightly lopsided right now, those type of fouls are potential momentum shifters. So Storm really need to either get a stop or get a steal.
And I mean, obviously, how important is it for Seth Garcia to just sort of move on from that? Obviously, his thoughts on the foul may be different to everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
But how important is it to not get stuck on that moment and just move on and keep playing your game?
Well, one of the greatest coaches ever, I think, is Coach K, Coach Krzyzewski. One of his biggest standby, go-to mentality phrases is next play. So as upset as you want to be, it's not worth it.
His laziest 3 won't be good. Terrell will come up with the rebound, 6 on the game clock. Ben Robertson with pace will throw it up, no luck. And the game clock will expire here at 3/4 time. It'll be the Bellarine Storm leading 80-60 over the Camberwell Dragons. And I mean, credit to Camberwell, losing by 20 points at the moment, but haven't taken the foot off. Like we saw then, Lockie Viney getting on the floor, going after loose balls. Players are hustling for rebounds. Lachlan Viney just attacking the rim whenever he can. So certainly promising signs here for the Camberwell Dragons. But I mean, right now, what are the Storm doing wrong?
Not a whole lot. I think they've done a much better job of packing the lane, containing the ball screen, and making sure a lot of possessions for Camberwell end with contested shots. Whether or not that's a make, you have to live with that because you've known that you force them into a shot that ideally they don't want to take or is slightly tough. So defensively, continue to be aggressive, be scrappy, try to be disruptive, just as they've been doing. And then offensively, when the ball moves, that's when they've had their best success. So keep the ball moving, especially up the floor early. Look to get those early transition finishes. And if not, the more the ball moves in and out or side to side, the more success they've had.
And we talk about small wins across a game. And as a coach and as a player, if the game's not going in your favour or you're not playing well, to look at those small wins. And I mean, Storm 35 points in the first quarter, haven't scored over 25 in the next 2 quarters. So you look at that and you go, okay, defense is better. Kerry Richardson only 31 points. Only. We say only. After 20 something and a half. So there's another small win. You just, in a game especially like this, you sort of take those small wins and just sort of keep building to that big win. But still plenty of action to come. So
I would say, sorry.
Do not go anywhere.
I would say too, A trend you saw a lot from last year's Storm men was them getting out to this huge lead on fire and then having the opposition slowly crawl their way back in, and then it ended up being a game at the end of it. So looking to build those positive habits of keeping the foot on the gas through the whole 4 quarters, knowing that we've got a bit more, why not? We've got a bit more bench to work with this year, and the pace so far has been really benefiting the Storm. It's just really good to build those habits early.
It's Clancy Whelan.
Why not?
That's another 3.
It was a heat check.
To his account, off the backboard. But as you said, Courtney, the Storm had that sort of, they play a real good first quarter as Lockie Viney up to 16 points for the game. They play that good first quarter and you'd be like, yes, they're up, they're in about. And then next minute, as Garcia travels, and then next minute it's halftime and they're only up by 5 points.
Exactly.
It just feels like this team this year are just, the foot's never off the gas.
Right.
Each quarter it's a new gear, just trying to really push that out, just that little bit more.
And I can't say I'm going to know where Camberwell is going to end on the table, but especially with them being without one of their imports currently on the sideline, being able to practice this against a high-level team, like a state champ level team, is going to give you confidence for whoever your next matchup is going to be. So you're saying, okay, we started out with a really big lead and we kept it, whereas last year they didn't have as much luck with that, is a big deal.
And obviously first few rounds of the season are just feelers.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen plenty of movement across both state championship divisions in the men's as the women's, as Hart will get to the ring for 2 points, and we'll have a timeout here for the Storm, nice and early in this, fourth quarter, but so much movement, especially in this state champ men's division. Like, it just, you sort of don't know until round 2 or round 3 who's going to set the standard. Like, yeah. I mean, you look at like a team like Shepparton this year. They've gone, Coach Josh Waite's done a great job on it, going out and recruiting a heap of players, recruiting a good coach, like a good assistant coach in Lucas Allen, who come across from Wyndham. I mean, Keysborough, like, so many teams are making changes, and you can't go off one round and say, look, these teams are going to be the stalemates, because next week could be a completely different team.
100%. So just getting those reps in early, practicing those good habits regardless of the score, whether you're down by 20 or up by 20, continuing to have that mindset and to instill those qualities or those standbys early are only going to do good when it's crunch time later and when finals are coming up.
So action resumes. Tori Odom still on the bench. Looks like he will take no further part in this matchup as Terrell fades away.
And it looks like there is ice on that ankle there.
It does look like there is ice on that ankle. So our best wishes go to Tori Odom that it is nothing too serious. Reminder, did come up awkwardly off a rebounding possession. Potential lower leg injury. Doesn't look like anything too serious, hopefully.
Yeah, he seems pretty relaxed at least.
Nice little passing sequence there from the Dragons, but
really,
Reeves...
I was going to say, really good ball movement.
Reeves can't get the conversion, so the Storm will come the other way. Still that 20-point margin. Whelan into Zalakos. Kicks it back out to Robertson, out to Terrell. Late in the shot clock. Zalakos spinning, floater. No good. Whelan showing shades of his brother, Vinny. Can't get it to go. Hart thought about the 3. We got fouled attacking the rim. Foul will be on number 3, Seth Garcia. And I believe that will be his 5th and final foul. So,
oh, very early too.
Very early. So he will take no further part in this game, and we'll see Max Cos check in.
He's in good spirits, it seems like. Louis Varley's laughing at him on the bench. So.
I mean, a little bit of a blessing in disguise almost. A little bit of a early rest before tomorrow's double-header game. Terrell does a good job on defence, but can't control the ball, and Thomas James will get his first points. Terrell catches it on the high post. Bit too hot. Got away with a foul there. Viney. No luck on the finish. So it just feels right now that the Coach Bugenhall is just getting some reps into these bench players. There's Viney. Not taking his foot off.
Not at all.
16 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 2 steals for him tonight. Top scorer for the Dragons. Substitutions for the Dragons. We'll see Angus Howie check back in. And Thomas James check out.
One thing if you're Coach Buggs that I would love to see from your bench squad right now is just a bit more decisiveness. Camberwell has switched up their defenses a little bit, and they look a little hesitant on like, okay, I need to make this pass, or I'm going to drive, or I'm going to reverse the ball. So being a bit more assertive and decisive in your decision-making is just going to make everything that much more secure offensively.
And it looks as though Coach Bugenhall will rest 4 out of his 5 starters for this last sort of 6-7 minutes of this game in preparation for tomorrow's pretty big clash against the Sunbury Jets. Obviously Ben Robertson's former team, so there'll be plenty of feeling in that one. Triple header here at Bellarine Secondary College. First game at 11.
How did the Sunbury teams do tonight in their games? Because I think that both of us, men and women, both teams had doubleheaders today, or this weekend, I should say.
Courtney, if you could make some noise for a quick second, I'll find out.
Sure thing.
Actually, I'm onto it. So Champ Women lost to Hume City tonight, 84 to 58.
Okay.
While the championship men game is currently still in progress. However, Hume City currently up 30 points over Sunbury at half-time.
Goodness.
So certainly a bit of an interesting game. Obviously, former Bellarine Storm import Kavion Green playing for the Broncos. And KG is doing KG things.
Per usual.
18 points at the half, 7 rebounds. So
Only 7 rebounds. Unbelievable.
he got more when he was here. So both teams, interesting to see how they play off the back of a doubleheader. But Camberwell will leave it all out there tonight. As Jack Terrell hits the deck hard, seems to be okay, but will take the charge.
That is something, as a coach, you are thrilled to see, because Jack was not happy with himself with that missed 3-pointer. Turned around, sprinted back, and immediately drew a charge.
And I mean, for all, I don't know how many young players are watching, it's 9 o'clock at night. It's a Saturday.
It's true, it's Saturday.
But how, like, Courtney, obviously yourself, you've played at all different levels. You've also coached at all different levels. How important to a coach is it to, like, that you don't give up? If you miss a bad shot and then you get down the other end and have a good defensive possession, Varley for 3, won't go. Is that, like, as a coach, how do you feel about that? Like, because obviously you drop your head after a shot, everyone does. Mm-hmm. But if you can turn around and get down the other end and make a layup or take a good stop, how important is that in a game of basketball?
I mean, if you take the skill aside and you have 2 players that are more or less doing the same amount scoring-wise, but you have one that's just being more mentally locked in and more positive for your team, it's a no-brainer. So just building that rapport for yourself, like building that reputation that we got some words being spoken.
Sorry, I'll cut you off there.
No, it's okay.
Courtney, there's a technical foul being thrown.
Well, long story short, mentality matters. So you doing the little things are always going to be a positive and going to give you more minutes.
So there's just been a technical foul on the court. It'll be on number 3, Trent Andre. There was a few words exchanged, a little bit heated there. I believe some frustrations are starting to set in for the Dragons. So Andre will receive the technical and there'll be 2 free throws. Sean King just pleading his case.
I think it might have been one of those scenarios where the second one is the one that got caught, you know? They're both drawn a little bit, so.
Yeah.
Somebody must have just gone over the line.
So we'll have a timeout for the Dragons. There's a bit of confusion going on at what happened at the moment. So after the timeout, there will be 2 technical free throws. But back to our sort of our advice segment of the conversation. It looks good to like everyone watching if you sort of miss a shot or you miss a layup, and instead of standing down the other end and cracking the sads or having a tantrum as such, if you're busting your butt to get back and get a stop or slow the offense down, or even just busting your butt back to get on defense. Like it's such a coach would look at that and go, okay, I'd much rather them over someone who's made 30 points but then comes down the other end and doesn't play much defense.
Exactly, and it's one of those things, like it's kind of cliche, but you call it like the things you don't see in the stat sheet, or like, for example, if you miss a layup and you get down on yourself, but you sprint back and you maybe, I don't know, really put pressure on their point guard or really put pressure on that first pass so that they can't get into their play, that, in theory, could stop them from scoring that possession. So just doing those little things, regardless of what's happening on the offensive end, not letting that, you know, you shoot for, 1 second. Don't let the missed shots of all of what have accumulate to a few seconds in the game don't affect the rest of your output.
I mean, basketball, yeah, stat sheet's good and it looks good if you're scoring points, but it's all about the 1%ers. It's all about just the little efforts. It's the standing up and cheering for your teammates. It's the busting to get back in defense. It's moving your feet. It's diving on loose balls, and it's not just for juniors. It's for seniors. It's for players in the NBL. Like you look at someone like Matthew Dellavedova, who might miss a layup and he'll go down the other end and he'll take a charge. So it just 1%ers are such an important thing in basketball. There's Vinny Wheelie, wow, that's a new one. Vinny Whelan is at the line. So still conversations being had between referees and players. Oh, no. Oh, good. Georgia Varley's not here. She'll find out about that later. Georgia Varley has a real habit of finding when I mess up.
The blunders.
As Vinny Whelan will make his way. Oh, no.
It's Clancy Whelan.
Clancy Whelan. I do apologise, Clancy.
It's day one.
It's day one.
It won't happen again.
Tomorrow will be good. Clancy, great job.
He has made an impact.
He has made an impact.
Big time.
10 points off the bench, I believe, in 3 minutes.
Very little time, exactly.
Not 3 minutes, but
a short amount of time.
Clancy Whelan, 9 points in 7 minutes, 2 rebounds as well. So it just feels weird in here.
It does.
For some reason.
There's
it's
5 minutes
unexplainable.
left. Yeah.
Like, there's no real crowd energy. The Storm are up by 20 points, but it just doesn't feel like they are. There's a nice little tip pass in to Howie. Just lifts the spirit of the Dragons a little bit as McKinney has checked back into the game just to maybe ice this game a little bit. Tyrrell catches it on the nail. Let it fly, chases his own hard rebound contest. There will be a foul there. That'll be Jack Tyrrell's second foul.
I think if you're Bellarine, as much as Camberwell's trying to push you into different looks, try your best to not play to what the defense is giving you, but be assertive and make them adapt to your offense a little bit more.
So 2 points goes for Ben Crow. And we spoke in the women's game about how setting the tone of the game and keeping the game on your terms is such a big part of senior basketball. Like if you can control the tempo of the game and sort of make the other team play into your style of play, you can ultimately win the game. As Andre, that would have changed aspect on the game a little bit. Just a little bit jittery at the moment for the Storm. 14 points the margin. But just taking the game on your pace, not playing to how the other team's playing. The other team's frantic. You don't want to be frantic. Varley 4-3. No good. Terrell crashes hard for the rebound. There will be a foul on the play. Foul will be on number 21. Mike Reeves the second. So.
And as cruisy as Bellarine has played the past couple minutes, I do think that they need to pick up their intensity a little bit more. I know there's only 3:26 left, but you don't want to play not to lose the last couple minutes. I still think that they can do a little bit better job of putting the emphasis on their pace.
I mean, Camberwell currently winning this quarter by 6 points, so certainly their best quarter for the game so far. But you just don't want to get too comfortable in that lead. And we saw that a little bit last year. Obviously a little bit earlier in a game. But Terrell makes the first. So still that 15-point margin. Zalakos fighting for the rebound, works hard. There's those 1%ers that we just spoke about.
And we've got the whole Bellarine bench on their feet for it.
There's that young player wanting to earn his stripes in the team. You dive on the ball, you work hard, you put your body on the line. It earns the respect of those older. It earns the respect of the older players. It earns this. Earns the respect of the more mature players.
And it tells your coach that regardless of the score, he's gonna, put himself out there for you.
Correct. And as you said, the bench is a perfect example. The bench is up and about behind you. So 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Floor sweepers definitely making their money's worth tonight.
Definitely.
In both games. So action to resume. Andre. 12 points for him tonight. Reeves inside. Nice little hook. Drops for him. Back down to 13 points. Margin. Reeves just the 5 points tonight. Quiet in his first game in Big V basketball. Koz kicks to Terrell. To Zalakos. Didn't really know where that pass was going, but
neither did I.
Max Koz was there. Zalakos from way downtown lets that one go.
The ball, I was going to say the ball didn't stick nearly as much, and the confidence from that dive, could have thrown a little bit into his three-point shot.
That was also a missile of a three-point. It was
laser beam.
Laser beamed. As Max Koz gets caught on a stray screen from Angus Howie. That'll be his 5th foul. And he will take no further part in this game.
He won't.
He's still talking to the ref. So I don't think he realises he's got 5 fouls. No, he doesn't.
Now he does.
Now he does. So but it is good to be back in season 2025, and I just have a feeling it's going to be a very entertaining season.
I think so too. There's so much movement that happened between both state champ men and women's divisions. I feel like there's going to be a lot more parity. There's going to be some different teams that are popping up that you didn't expect to see last season. So, yeah, it's going to be super exciting.
His Koz's shot jammed in between the ring and the backboard. No luck. Ben Crow out in the fast break. We'll get 2 points. And back to 14 points. I have to say, in my 5 or 6 years of following Big V basketball, this may be the most movement we've seen in an off-season so far. As Zalakos gets his defender in the air, can't get the lucky roll. And so Camberwell come the other way just to apply that little bit of pressure. Hart, 4-3, no luck. McKinney with the rebound. Gets fouled, put a little bit of mayo on that. Got the call, foul will be on number 24. Sorry, 34, correction. Lachlan Vinyl, that'll be his fourth. Malik McKinney, 20 points tonight, 6 assists. In his first game as a Storm player. You can't say like as a Dragon. The first time as a Storm.
As a Stormy?
Stormy.
I think Malik has been super efficient today. Super efficient.
As Andre gets the basket, 4-2 more. I mean, Malik's efficiency, second highest in the team for the game. So behind Kerry Richardson, who's just shot the lights out as there's players wide open. Zalakos was on an island in the corner. So McKinney will look to just continue to score his bag. Quick couple of push-ups there for him. So he'll head back to the line for 2. And I mean, for Camberwell, what do you work on? Obviously, only game for this year for this round, as Lachlan Viney will pick up his 5th foul, and we'll see number 44, Noah DeBortoli, check in for his first minutes of the game. What do you work on? Obviously, I don't know when they train, but on a Tuesday night training after a game, what's a few things that the Dragons sort of need to work on?
I think one big one they can have is working on their pace defensively. So picking up earlier, putting pressure on that ball handler a bit earlier. That's going to be a big one, because I think Storm got a lot of success out of just pushing the ball up the floor. Excuse me. Aside from that, I mean, offensively, you scored 84 points. So it's not like the ball wasn't going in. So I'd say start with that, really putting pressure on the ball handlers on kickouts, and like putting that pressure on early so that they can't just dribble the ball up the floor or launch it up the floor is going to be a really good start.
And I don't think that 3 is no good. Offense isn't a problem for the Dragons, shooting at 40% for the game from the field goal. So, I mean, you can't complain about offense. It's just that little defense aspect, as McKinney's going to dribble the ball out. But, I mean, there's actually a delay between the shot clock and game clock.
Who's going to take the turnover?
So, Varley will have to put the shot up. It will hit the ring. As I believe he got booed from his teammates then for taking a shot, end of the game. But opening round success for the Storm. They'll take the 99-84 win over the Camberwell Dragons. And, I mean, if that's anything to go by, it is going to be an entertaining season. Kerry Richardson in his first games in Big V colours, in Big V in the league, and the Storm colours in Australia, 31 points. 8 rebounds, shooting at 86% from the field.
And
there's 3 threes in there too.
I don't think he played in the 4th quarter.
26 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Malik McKinney closely followed behind him, 25 points, 7 assists, 1 steal. And for the Dragons, it was Lachlan Viney off the bench with 18 points and 3 steals, closely followed behind Ben Crow, 16 points, 3 rebounds. So, thank you for watching wherever you watch from, especially to you, Baden, if you're still watching.
Betos.
But that will be the end of tonight's stream. Make sure, if you are wanting more Bellarine Storm basketball, 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the Storm take on the Jets here at Storm HQ. Youth League match at 11 o'clock. make sure you get down here. Thank you again, Courtney.
It's a pleasure as always.
It's great to be back, but we will see you next time. Thank you for watching.